So as we see over here, you know, you have your fried and salty, you have the sweet, you have the caffeine, you have, you know, sugar and caffeine put together. These are all things we crave. Now let's talk about why we crave it. We crave it because our body is a very, very smart machine. It's constantly looking to be in balance, because if it's off balance, something's not okay. So if you're constantly craving, let's say, salty foods, your body is perhaps telling you that the minerals need to be brought in. There's a lack of that in your body, right? If you're craving a lot of sweet, it's a very good sign that you're dehydrated. Ever thought of that? Down. But so basically, it's your body that's trying to look for balance. So when something's in an abnormal situation, so if you're craving something more than normal, or it's a craving, you need to sit and ask yourself, what's going on over here? What have I eaten the last few days, or where have I been emotionally the last few days? And that will kind of bring clarity as to why you're craving things. Most likely it is dehydration when you're craving sweets. So what I recommend to people is that before they, especially now around the holidays, right, when you go to these parties and all of these happy feasts that we have going, it's so easy to gravitate to the sweets. So my recommendation is start drinking water. Now, what is the point of dehydration? Do you drink water when you're thirsty, or do you drink water throughout the day?
I drink throughout the day.
Throughout the day is the way you want to do it. Because if you're waiting to get thirsty, at that point you're already dehydrated. Right? So it's very important to sip through the day. You have to think about this. If your body is 70-75% water, you're sweating, you're urinating, you're letting all of that go. And if you're not replacing it, take a moment to think about what's going on inside. What's happening to your organs? You know, how's your colon cleansing? It can't, it needs water. So it's extremely, extremely important to stay hydrated. If you want to be even more specific, what you want to do is take your weight and then divide that by 2 and drink that in ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, you're drinking 50 ounces of water. That's the bare minimum. If you're working out, if you're out in the sun, if you're sweating excessively, you want to go more than that, right? So it's easy math. So sometimes what happens is when we have sweetness missing in our life and there is a void over there, we try to fill it with sweet things. And that necessarily isn't the solution. Have you ever felt that when you're feeling sad or down or unfulfilled or incomplete and you go to a tub of Ben & Jerry's, is it fixed?
No.
It's not. In fact, it worsens. It worsens. So you want to take a moment to ask yourself, what is this void? How can I fill it? What would it take for me to have sweetness from the inside as opposed to just in my mouth, right? And we'll talk about examples of that going forward. Also because our brain is designed in a fashion where it's always evading pain and looking for pleasure. So when we experience any kind of pain, physical, emotional, stress, I like to put stress under pain because I think stress is a form of pain, right? We try to take that away and replace it with pleasure. So what is the easiest way to do that? Happy hour. Right? It's pleasure. It's temporary, but it's pleasure. Or it is a buffet. Or it's supersize your stuff, right? That isn't, again, necessarily the answer. If you are going through this constantly looking for pleasure to avoid pain, it, I think, would be more sensible for us to figure out what is the root cause of the pain and nip it in the bud.
Yeah. Me?
So what can we do about all of these things? Right now we are recognizing patterns. We are recognizing why we do certain things. And now it's time to think about what can we do. And you're already ahead of the game because you've mentioned a few things. So start preparing your body early. We're still in the beginning of December. I don't think Christmas parties start till about mid or a little later. Start getting hydrated. bring in the exercise, do all of that stuff, and start preparing your body. First thing is drinking water. I mean, I cannot emphasize enough. Migraines, headaches, all of these things, lack of water.
And it helps with weight loss too.
Helps with weight loss too.
Replace that soda with water.
Exactly. And I want to tell you something else about for when you're craving sweets. Drink a huge glass of water. Wait it out for a few minutes, perhaps 5, 7, 8, 10 minutes, and ask yourself if you're still craving it. Very likely, the answer is going to be no.